Good evening and welcome to the Gary Brodsky Show with your host, Gary Brodsky. It all seems to make sense at GaryBrodsky.com. All right, let's talk about the ridiculous, continuous, totally evolving, castrating war on men that has not stopped, has been going on for a hell of a long time, a lot longer than you even think. Now, I was mentioning last week, I believe it was last week, about Operation, I don't know if anybody looked it up, Laurel Canyon, where they actually planned the 60s, but they lost control of it. But they planned every move of the 60s, from the big concerts on down to everything. Pre-planned before it even started. Well, at that point, they also pre-planned what's happening now. This assault on men, especially and only really towards the alpha males, because they're hard to control. They're the guys with ideas, with ambition, with life. They don't want that. So if you're following today's political correctness, you're doing what your enemy wants. Something to think about. So I'll just brief, a real quick overview. They started out with the Beatles. They made sure that the guys were thin, effeminate hair at that time, and would slowly induct people into the feminine look. And then they really smashed it up the last 20 years with the New Age feminism and all this other crap, especially in the schools now. Guys are failing miserably because they tell you being a man is just no fucking damn good, and that women don't want masculine men. And that is the biggest crock of shit I have ever heard. And just don't follow it. And today, the rules are different. The attack has to be subliminal and powerful. And that's what GaryBrodsky.com is all about. All right, we are live now, but we won't be when I record this thing. All right, let's see if there's any questions. No. And that brings us to another point. Men used to ask questions about everything. How do you think they learn so much, right? Anybody. Not by talking, but by listening. Now I do webinars, there's going to be a lot of good ones. And very few people ask questions. And I don't know why, because they're not asking questions. But if you have any ideas why, or whatever it is, but we have some good webinars coming up. They're not announced yet. But a lot of research. I've probably been down for the last 2 weeks. You haven't seen me, heard from me, except my last show. But really powerful alpha stuff, which today is looked at as almost criminal, and soon it probably will be. Because everything today is offensive. That's all people seem to care about, and people are going along with this brainwashing thing. Everything is offensive. That's offensive. This is offensive. There's Halloween costumes you can't wear. If you dress like a pirate, it's rape culture. I'm sure you've seen the signs, the posters. If you dress like an American Indian, you're degrading somebody. If you dress like a samurai, you're, of course, being ethnically something. And they have a whole bunch of signs. Do not come on my property if you dress like this, dress like that. And I think Halloween is getting way too much attention. It's a satanic holiday. And I just got to say this. The only ghost that should be in your house should be the Holy Ghost. That's going to cost you some viewers right there. But if we get more views, we get some fun. I will promise to do a Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump imitation. How's that? Only by request. I know you're waiting for it, but we need more viewers. Nothing yet. Okay, questions, if you have them. Gary Brodsky 123 at AOL.com. And I don't have my Trump hat. I do have one. I don't know where it is. I happen to like Trump. That's cost me about 25,000 friends. But really, let's get back to not who I like, what I don't like. That's not important. What is important is that we have a war on against men. So men think, for some unknown reason, they cannot pick up women. when now is the easiest time ever that has ever existed. Because there's no more alphas out there. Nothing. You gotta hear how bad, and I'm sure you see it, guys are talking feminine, acting feminine, and it's just pervasive. Why? Because you see it on TV commercials, TV shows, every movie. It's everywhere. Don't go along with your social programmers, your fucking slavers, and follow their program. That's insane to me. Women are getting more tattoos than men. You know, women are trying to be men, and they can't do it. Okay, let's face it. I don't know why they'd want to, but they just tell him, you know, all sorts of bullshit. But when an alpha male comes in, kills that bullshit. Dead. Oh yeah, you can't also dress as a soldier because it promotes violence. Why were you violent? I see the kid dressed as a soldier. That makes sense, right? Yeah. All right, we got enough viewers now. As I was saying, get some goddamn fucking questions in because this show is about questions. Gary Brodsky 123 at AOL.com. Otherwise, it's going to be a very quick show. I don't care. The important thing is that you alpha up. You got to know every trick in the book. Today, with all this political correctness lined up against you, you got to have all the ammunition to fight back. And I mean that. And you know it. And I know it. And everybody else knows it. And there's no question, so we're going to drink some more soda. Okay, back to my rant. First, a cigarette. One thing is good. I'll tell you what's good. The politically correct community does not like me. And they've actually started petitions to ban my show and stuff like that. You know what that means? Shit works. That's what it means. So, you see it everywhere, the way guys speak today. You know, come on. You think that's going to pick up a woman? You think a woman's going to be attracted to that? The way men stand today, their posture's so bad, they don't even need a girlfriend. You know, it's just really ridiculous. And it's getting worse by the hour. And now it's going to be worse. Guys call me up for consultations. I do get them back on track. When they called me up and said, well, I've been after this girl for 5 years. 5 years? I don't think she likes me. So I can tell you right now, it's a lot of years invested in that. I bought her this, I bought her that, and I said, I got to really get this guy back on track. And I did. He's got a new girlfriend now, and he's doing great. And he's not tuned in tonight. But that's okay, he's probably... You know, you can't even do this to a guy. Hey, see that girl over there? Hey, what do you think? Oh my God, that's politically incorrect. You know, it's just really a lot of fun to piss people off with being politically incorrect. That's my job. Because nothing was ever built, no business was ever created, no girl was ever picked up by political correctness. And it is an illness, and it is a plague, because you're afraid to speak what's on your mind. You are a slave to speaking what they allow you to speak, and it is not good to be a slave. It really is not good. Especially the most ridiculous thing out there, political correctness, PC, sounds like pussy. You know why? Because people who are PC act like a goddamn pussy. All right, questions are coming in. Chris. Hi, Chris. Okay, got that taken care of. Gun control. One more thing that convinces me about men acting more feminine. I am not allowed to express my disapproval on gun control. It turned into a whole bullshit argument on my Facebook page. I gotta go up there and get in on that. Um, it didn't matter how many valid points I made. Gun control nuts are still arguing with me. But I am not here to air my dirty laundry. Mine is on the floor right here, by the way. Okay, it is what it is. There's not enough fucking gun control rhetoric to change my mind about the support of the Second Amendment. Great point. Gun control. One thing about gun control, say, the Constitution clearly states, and I get into real detail about this, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed upon. That's it. That's why I like Trump. Okay, that's probably costing me some viewers here. Big deal. Because he says the Second Amendment is your gun license. Now, I grew up around guns. I grew up in Louisiana, and we used to go out, at 12 years old with 22 caliber rifles, and, guess what? Nobody got shot. Nobody even thought about it. We used to bring our rifles to school. Put your rifles in the wardrobe. Big deal. But now, and I've seen this, and Alex Jones mentioned it too. Somebody sees a gun, they go, ah, ah, ah. Like, yeah, I've been a latent killer all my life. I'm just going to thought, it really is, again, brainwashing. There's knife control out there, and I'm not kidding. If you check out your state's laws on knives, knife can't be more than 4 inches long. It has to be carried in a certain way. Like people would be going out knifing each other. It's like, I was going to stab this guy, but I read there's a law that says you can't have a knife that's bigger than 4 inches. It's just really, again, to emasculate men. Now, I go to the range. You know what's here? Who goes to the range? Lots of pretty girls. Looking for a guy at the range. Because there's mostly not guys in there. Mostly all women. But gun control is an inalienable right, like freedom of speech. You can't start fucking with it, but they did. And once they said hate speech, that was it. Offensive speech, revisionist speech. There are so many types of speech you can't say. Technically, I shouldn't be able to talk at all. But that's just brainwashing. So I'm glad. Thanks for that email, by the way. I've had, you can't argue with these people because they have what's known as cognitive dissonance. Check out what that is. Watch YouTube on that. You see guys throwing fits. This is the argument I get about guns. Well, why would anybody need a gun? Gee, I don't know. First of all, it's a right. It's not a privilege. And second of all, it is a great equalizer. Everybody has a right to defend themselves. What are you going to start doing, pulling horns off of bulls? Yeah, they're doing that too now. They want to have a town ordinance to cut dogs' balls off. I mean, this is the insanity we live in. Jason, good evening. It's already activated, Jason. Thank you for the question. Let's get on to some topics here about how guys are acting so sissy, and they wonder, why I can't get a girl? Why can't I get a girl? Well, because you act like a girl, and women hate each other. How's that? Good enough? And now it's time for, a soda break. I like soda. And yes, I know it's banned in some states. They want to ban soda completely. No schools have soda machines anymore. No more cigarette machines. Anything that's masculine, they're taking away. And if we don't stand up and start acting like men, we're going to lose everything. Most guys act like, when I was younger, like James Bond. We had a character. There was a Muhammad Ali guy. There was a Bruce Lee guy. There was a Captain Kirk guy. Now, everybody, Joe Bessa, okay? And what's funny? People who are against guns think people who are for guns should be shot. Just think about that. Look at some of the posts. Now, they're against guns, but they're not against the government having guns. It's sort of a one-sided thing. The reason that the Constitution actually says to have guns, I'm not going to get into that because I'm going to get into trouble. But read the Constitutional Declaration of Independence. Guns were not made for duck hunting. Well, I have gone duck hunting, never go to duck, okay? I used to go hunting with my brother all the time. The gun range. For all liberals out there who are advocates for gun control, the Second Amendment is to allow the people to keep and bear arms against the corrupt government. You said it. It's not the right to shoot people like we're playing a Grand Theft Auto game. All the fruitcake males, not men, need to be invited to the gun range, need to spike up their testosterone. Men need to harden the fuck up, period. Oh, you are so right about that. Look what they're doing to kids in school. If you're being bullied, tell a teacher. You know, I used to get bullied in school. I don't know if I should talk about this. I was like 15. These two kids used to beat me up every day. I was like, yeah, I get off the train. Yeah, I took the train when I was like 15 by myself. They used to kick the crap out of me. I remember sitting there humiliated by the lockers and saying, oh, I can't take this. I'm getting beaten up every fucking day from these two guys. I think they were brothers or related somehow because they looked the same. I didn't really know their names. I said, I'm not going to take this shit anymore. And I was wearing fry boots. They were in then. And I had this big fucking heel in it. So I took off one of my boots, and I saw these guys in the classroom. I was on one of these breaks. And I walked in, and I just split one guy's head open with the boot. And I took the other guy's head, and I just banged it into the desk like one of those like balls like this. Guess what? They never bothered me again. But I didn't go complain to the school or my parents. I figured it out. They lived. Every time they saw me, they moved. Because once I realized I could overcome them, I wasn't afraid of anybody. So, yeah. That's just a story of my life. And as you can see, I grew up in tough areas. I have a glove cut over here, and over here. You see the cuts on my face. As I'm getting older, they're coming out more. I used to fight a lot. They weren't glove cuts, they were fist cuts, okay? I wouldn't box. I used to box and get that hurt. Hey, Derek, good evening. I heard this guy should always keep a girl in date mode. Good point. With the relationship instead of official boyfriend-girlfriend, because if she gets too comfortable in a relationship, she can call you her official boyfriend. What are your thoughts on that? Thanks, Derek. Thank you, Derek. My thoughts are easy. Women, and every fight you ever had with a woman, think about this. They all come from the comfort zone. When a woman is comfortable and secure, for unknown reasons, but women, you gotta love them. You gotta love them. They're great. That's when they attack you. And I know women can piss guys off to the point you can go crazy. You can't get involved in their insanity. Otherwise, you sound just like them. If you argue with a woman, you have already, I'm not saying you do, I'm just saying everybody out there, if you argue with a woman, you're going to start sounding like a woman, and the arguments will never stop. And you did this, and you did that. And yeah, I did a lot of things, One thing I got to tell you, and this is going to offend a lot of people. Guys who apologize will get hit again and again and again. The guy goes, so I did it, okay? That's it. Now, if you look at the guys who apologize for cheating, I forgot who they were. Their wives all left them. The guy said, yeah, okay, I did it. That's it. Apologies can be taken as weakness sometimes by women. And if you want to know how to play women, that's what GaryBrodsky.com is all about. Here's a good quote. God made men and Sam Colt made them equal. Great quote. But women do strike from the comfort zone. And guys have made it way too comfortable for them. I'm going to go back to seeking arrangements right now. Guys are being pussy whipped by their hookers. The world has changed. And only by cooperation. Anybody been in the military, you know the first rule of conduct is do not cooperate with the enemy. Well, I think people must have forgotten about that. I don't even have a garbage can anymore. I don't know where it went. But yeah, and guys cooperate immediately. Hey, Nathaniel, how are you? I will send you an email on that. I got your other email before, right before the show started. And it's good to see you out there. They want to actually pass a law. You can check this out. It's all on Google. Everything's on Google now, which I hate. Because you tell somebody, well, what's the answer to this question? You answer it, and they go, why don't you check you out? Why don't you check that in the first place? You're wrong. It was on a Thursday. Shut up. These things are a curse. They're good for the show. And a lot of people sent me texts and stuff like that. And I don't carry this around with me all the time. Because people become a slave to this. You know that. I see people driving and texting. Yeah, they should get tickets for that. I mean, driving and talking is a different story. But like in the middle of driving, I'm going 50 miles an hour, I think I'll type somebody a fucking letter. Okay, that's getting a little out of hand. But now it's gotten to the point so much where if you call somebody up, it's like, why are you calling me? Like, that's what the fucking phone is for. It's called an iPhone, not an iTexter. But, yeah, people do not know how, with all this is a communication age, nobody's talking to each other. Why? Again, afraid to offend somebody. Now, look at it this way. It's fun to offend people. You know, the big one that really bothers me at the gym is this. I tell people I believe in God, and they go, I thought you were too smart for that. Like, I don't know how to handle that. If you hit them, it's sort of like, well, there's no moral compass in your world, right? Boom. Just mentioning that. Kids don't play fight anymore. Kids have no interest in the martial arts, karate, anything. You know, I started martial arts because I used to get in a lot of fights. I didn't start them all. Some of them I did, I admit that. Most of the ones I started, I lost. But there was enough out there in my Brooklyn neighborhood to start fights every day. Walked out of the house. Hey, you looking at me? No. Bang. You know. Okay, here's this thing about bullies. When I was growing up, whenever I came home pissed off because of some bully, either one of my parents said, good luck. Right, exactly. Kick his ass. I felt way better coming home the next day. I also thought, never start a fight, always finish it. I got into a lot of shit with teachers over it. But whatever. Now, the most blatant example of bullies are some of the dumb-ass left-wing liberal politicians that make up bullshit laws curbing natural, very important, curbing natural male behavior. Exactly. And implementing gun control. I find it insulting that the aforementioned politicians think that they know better than I do. It pisses me off. It should piss off every man in the Western world. It should. And fortunately, some people have woken up. You know, people say to me, why do you work out? Look, okay, I'm standing like this. Why do you go to the gym? What do you need the big muscles for? It's like, what do you look like a faggot for? Yeah, I just said it. I said that word. Yeah, I said it. Hey, Captain Scarlet. How you doing? Good evening. Yes, you have invoked these, Captain. Should an alpha guy ever have female friends? No, unless you're fucking them. Personally, I think it's wrong. You're right. I would not even have female friends on my Facebook page if not going to blow me now or in the near future. Why do I want to talk to them? What's the fucking point in being friends with them? Personally, and this actually cost me an area on a talk show once. It was about being a platonic friend. And the guy, Wayne, was still friends today. He was looking for somebody who could talk about having platonic female friends. He said to me, come here. I said, have you ever really had a platonic relationship with a woman? I said, no. He said, I didn't think so. You're off the show. Like, but I can fake it. Goodbye. And we stayed friends for a long time. Great man, because he was able to spot it. I don't even know how to have a platonic relationship with a woman. I wouldn't have a clue. That's, to me, that's just somebody who tried to fuck a girl fucked up. I got sentenced to the platonic zone. Doesn't that shoe bring anything a person desires? Absolutely. I'm working on one here. It's not finished, but it's in the process of being worked on. So it's still not filled, and I have to fill it, and I've mixed the cement and everything. And this is a pretty good looking one. Not finished yet, but the person who's waiting for this one, the only one person out there that is waiting for this one, it's still in the works. As you see, a lot of detail goes into this. I haven't put the feathers and the spike in yet, and it has not been filled. And yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's maybe people don't agree with it, maybe people do. It makes no difference to me. But at least it's on a spiritual path. You don't find spirituality in people anymore. In fact, you don't find too much life in people anymore. It's sad. I'm looking to partner up with some people in business, and I'll partner up with a woman now, because the men are just like, hey, what if things go wrong? Hey, that's business. But what if they go wrong? And actually, they've proven it. Women are more likely to take a chance than men. And everything in life is taking a chance. There's no such thing as security. No such thing. It does not exist in nature, and it does not exist in human life. The belief in security is the reason people turn over all their freedoms. And now who do people worship? God? No. Any crazy spirituality? No. They worship the government. And that's just what they want. Oh, I like this. Reply to atheists. If someone says, I thought you were too smart to believe in God, tell them I didn't think you were a faggot. I'm going to use that. Thank you. And then they can name, and this is what atheists are really good at, they can name famous atheists. So can I. Hitler, Stalin, Mao. I can name a few too. I don't know if any of you have heard of this guy, William Jennings Bryan. 1915, Scopes Monkey Trial. Spencer Tracy did a great job in that. So did Fred McMurray, which was a trial about, they were arresting people for teaching evolution in school. And actually, if you read about William Jennings Bryan, you'll find out that he did not really want to get this guy in trouble, but he said, if you let evolution be taught in school in a very short time, they're not going to allow creation to be taught in school. And he's one of my heroes because he was right. He ran for president unsuccessfully, and now if I discuss creation with people, they immediately go into, I don't even know what the stage is, like, no, it can't happen, it's evolution. Charles Darwin was hired by a guy named Galton to write this book. Why? Because, think about it, Darwinism is very close to Marxism. And the difference between communism and socialism is only one difference. One is elected and one is by revolution. And they all have to use force. Mao said one thing right. He said government is force. And the power of the government grows out of the barrel of a gun. So, you know, it's funny, but you see high school kids. Where are the cool kids? Don't have them anymore. Being cool works. I have an audio program out there right now called How to Be Cool. It's got some of the best stuff on it. I don't promote that one enough. It's got a silly title, maybe, or whatever, but being cool works. It's right on there at the GaryBrodsky.com audio page. It's like $9. Hey, new Chris, how you doing? Thank you and welcome to the show. The Platonic Zone. I got to read about this. This zone always fascinated me. Great. The Platonic Zone sounds a lot like the Twilight Zone. I don't know how guys get into the Platonic Zone. I'm trying to figure that out myself. Now, I've been shooting for years, and I didn't know until a couple of months ago there was something called limp wristing, where you don't hold the gun tight. And I've been trying to do it. I can't. My friend's father knows how. He's going to show me. But it's with an automatic, not a revolver. Now, as long as we're talking about guns, knives, where's my props? Oh, here they are. Now, if for any reason whatsoever, GaryBrodsky.com audios or any other products do not get you laid, parlayed, relayed, 6 ways to Sunday, we will send you back your money plus the knife to cut it off with. Now, I'm still trying to set up, I know a lot of you are waiting for this, the knife to cut it off with site, because everybody sends me an email, where do I get a knife like that? It'll be on there as soon as I figure out how to set it up, because the merchant accounts that I have will not allow me to sell knives to cut it off with, because they're being politically correct. Yeah. Okay, I get a little crazy. And let's check if there's any more questions. No questions at this point. Okay. Yeah, I swear to God, you know, I don't know how many sodas I drank today, but it's never enough. Yeah, I heard sodas make you fat and out of shape, and that's all bullshit. It's not what you eat, it's what you think. That's absolutely true. If I gave you water and told you it was to make you fat and you believe me, you become fat. People believe what they hear. Especially, you want to do something good for yourself? Don't watch. And I can't stand it now. It's like torturing me. When I pass a television set, now they're everywhere. I go to get a hamburger. There's a TV set behind them. I go to the bank. There's a TV set. The gym, TV sets everywhere. People cannot live without TV. What does that show you? People cannot think today. But this show is about getting women. And if you've got the right attitude, the right walk, the right look, the right stuff, they will chase the hell out of you. I know a lot of my products have strong names to them, like mind control and stuff like that. It's all a head game. It's always been a game. Want to play it? Want to win it? GaryBrodsky.com. That's right. And no, you do not have to pay for membership. There are free memberships too, so you can see the stuff that I cannot put on the front page. And that page is going to be very small. So actually signing up for membership is beneficial to you, because I'm always coming out with new product and stuff that you need today. It's not a question of want anymore. You need to know the game. You need to know how to win it. You need to know how to play it to win. Anonymous user. I guess we don't know your name, do we? What is the best way to drive a woman crazy in a good way? That's an easy one. Summed up very simply, when you see a beautiful woman, wow, she's gorgeous, wow, she's hot. What looks are to men, confidence is to women. I don't know why I'm talking like Captain Kirk. But when a woman sees a confident guy, a guy can stand, hey, how you doing? That's a turn on. Time for a drink. Don't go anywhere. Confidence is the biggest turn on anywhere, anytime, that drives women crazy. A confident man. So that's the answer to that question for you and for all men. Empty. There's someone, I'm sure. This has to be done. I don't know why, but this has to be done. But yeah, confidence is the biggest turn on in the world. Look around. Do you see a lot of confident men out there? No. Confidence is the biggest turn on in the world. How to apply it, how to use it, it's all there at GaryBrodsky.com. These are great. Okay, more questions coming in. Anonymous user, I like your question. Thank you. I don't know how you got that name. Hey, Gary. Hey, Derek. How you doing? Good evening again. You're right about how interviewing type conversations are. I went to my high school reunion, and everyone seems to default to that type of boring interview type question. You taught me how to have fun conversations with women, like their dream vacation or their favorite memory as teenagers, etc. Now, what they do for work and where they went to school, boring, dorky crap. Thanks. And Derek, it works. And thanks, Derek. Women don't want to hear the same bullshit every guy says, and how are you thinking? No, you got to rock their world. You got to know how to speak. I got an audio called How to Talk to Women. And the way you talk to women is not the same way you talk to men. Most guys like, am I disturbing you? And you know, boom, you got to be powerful in there. Once you catch a woman's gaze, or she sees you looking at her, you better work with your feet and walk up to her. Otherwise, in a few seconds, they think, what's wrong with you? Now, first thing I think, what's wrong with me? Then about 2 seconds, they go, what's wrong with you? And she'll make up a list 70 miles long. She'll probably be right. Overcome approach anxiety? We got stuff on that too. That's most guys' biggest fear. Okay, hey Gary, Jason here. The Platonic Zone sounds like a suicide mission. But if you listen, success, power, and conquest. By the way, that's a fantastic audio, by the way. It's right, and I can't keep it up there for long. You can get your life back as a real alpha male. Thanks. Absolutely true. Power, success, and conquest. And that's got a soundtrack to it. You'll love it. It's going to be huge. It's huge. Okay, it's huge. Had to do with a little bit of my Donald Trump there. It's going to be huge. It's huge. It's tremendous. It's huge. I can't answer that one. Okay, some people are crazy out there. But okay, show is wrapping up quick. Wow. I don't know if I had it. Well, all right. So let's get some last questions in. Let's see. We're just taught, and over again. If there wasn't such a strong war against alpha males, why is this a strong war? Because we're a threat. Because we work. Because we succeed. They don't want that. Well, let's give them what they don't want. All right, let's get some last questions in. Come on, show's about to end. I'd like to play some music on here, but for some reason, there's one guy who will write up, he used copyrighted music, and fuck him. Hey, Captain, how you doing? Oh, this might be a good one. Gary, Playboy is not photographing chicks in the nude anymore. What is your point of view on that? I got to tell you something. When I first heard about that, I said, oh no, they're going politically correct. That's not true. I actually know people at Playboy. It's not that they're going politically incorrect at all. I was surprised. The reason I'm putting nudes in there, and I spoke to somebody who actually is up there knows, is that, first of all, nude women do not turn on most guys anymore because of too much, I guess, internet porn. Plus, most men today, and this is the saddest statement I'm going to make tonight, are intimidated and offended and frightened by pictures of nude women. That shows you where society is today. First, I thought it was Playboy is now being so politically correct. No, they're losing sales. Now, if you notice, Maxim magazine has women in bathing suits and covered up. They're doing much better than Playboy because guys are afraid of a naked lady. That's okay. Look at it as bad, but look at it also as if you're one of those guys that aren't afraid of them, you got the whole world in your hands. But that's why they're doing it. Not because of any politically correct thing, which I thought it was immediately too, like you did. But I had to do some investigative reporting because I basically am a journalist here. Is because men are afraid of a naked woman. Pretty goddamn sad, isn't it? Don't be that guy. What can I tell you? But that is the reason. So, Captain, I'm sorry that the world is gotten this way, and I'm one of those people, and as you are, and all of us here watching tonight, trying to fight this stuff. We'll just then go, hey, here is a man in the image of God. You think God is happy with the way guys are acting? I'm surprised it's not raining fire right now. All right. Are there still fruitcakes walking around with t-shirts saying, this is what feminism looks like? Yes. Is there a shirt that says, not a feminist? I would wear it with pride and piss a lot of people off. No. And I used to have them. And they would not let me post it up. And I could post it up and nobody could buy it. It said, I'm not PC, I'm not this, I'm not that. I'm an alpha male. If you don't like it, deal with it. That offended people. Those sold out in a day. But yeah, I see a lot of shirts, guys wearing it. This is what a feminist looks like. Guys think maybe women will like me if I wear this. That's a guy who's lost his way. Okay, best audio, how to be a prick with women for your question. Women like guys who are pricks. Women never like nice guys, and they never will. It's a fact. Women do not like nice guys. But they like a guy that's a challenge, a lot of fun. How about How to Be Cool? That's got some great stuff in there. It shows you the right walk, the right moves. It's really great audio. So they're all good, but those two I'd recommend. I found this from experience just to test it. If you solve a woman's problem, you'll become a woman's problem. All explained in detail on both those audios. Okay, I'm going to have a last cigarette and then the show is going to close. Just as a whole bunch of viewers come in. But now I am in a situation where I have to make my site. We have to remember to see the stuff that's not politically correct. But that's not going to go into effect till Tuesday morning. So the good stuff is on the front, and if you remember, it's in the back. There's some really powerful stuff in there. I get too many testimonials. I don't post them up. It's going out. It is going out. Everything is going out. So, actually, as of tomorrow. Because a lot of the occult items from occultforce.com, they're not on the shelves. They're handmade at the right times. And yeah, magic is good. Magic works. Sorcery is different. Magic and sorcery, two different worlds. But that's the occult. As I said, I've been working on this for about a week. And it's not finished yet. The mojo bags, unless they work, they don't go out. So you might want to check out occultforce.com and braintrainpower.com. You hear it enough, you'll become it, and it's all on there. And I've used it myself. I'm amazed it still works. But it's a science that's been known for years. You can brainwash yourself to actually succeed at stuff. Because I can tell you something right now, you can have a degree in anything. Can you get a job today? No. But if you have a mindset of success, it doesn't matter if you know nothing. You'll succeed. Questions keep coming in. Derek, a guy should spend his energy on how to be a prick to women, not how to try to make her happy by being a nice guy. Thanks, Gary, for the prick audio. It's my favorite. Derek, can you say that again? I want to use it as a testimonial. Because the prick audio is something that the Fortune 500 companies use to get and cut big deals. How do I know that? Because I know who buys this stuff. Anonymous user. Anonymous user, you're great. Is it me or every feminist I meet hairy, fat, and annoying, and has no self-respect, and hasn't showered in weeks? No, it's not you. Feminism is a refuge for sexual failures. That's right. That's what feminism is. Third wave feminism. They keep trying it. They tried it in the 70s, they tried it in the 80s, they're trying it now. But now it's a castrating form of feminism where you cannot even have an opposing view. All right, one more question and then I got to run. So, yeah, feminism is a refuge for sexual failures. And they all are. I like the women with men's haircuts. That's really good, you know. Hey, got a question. Okay. What is the best occult item to buy for you to attract money or any item, period? The issue? You ask it, it finds it. Well, it's. I can explain the whole science of it. It's a transmitter. They're around forever. The Queen of England has one. She's not exactly hurting for money. Everybody wealthy has one. And even if you look at some of the people in the office, you'll see a piece of African art. That's just an issue hidden in African art. They work. I should work mine more. Sometimes you ask for stuff, you get it, and you get scared. No, it's really basically what spiritual possession is to a degree, but not possession. You find it conjures up a spirit that enjoys what you're enjoying, what you asked for. So it's getting its return by you having money, you're enjoying your money. It's enjoying it with you. Doesn't impose on you, does not come into your life, does not cut in, does not make decisions for you. And that's what the source, and I'm having a new page up this week Because I believe this to be true because God said it was, and I don't think there's any argument room there. All illness, all problems comes from one thing: unclean spirits. Anybody who's cleared of unclean spirits can do anything. And this thing brings up clean spirits. But people who have problems and people have repetition say, oh, I had this bad relationship and I had another bad one. Why? There's an unclean spirit feeding off your suffering. If you're sick, there's an unclean spirit feeding off your illness. And I'm going by traditional old school medicine, none of this new age shit. I will be here, and I'm an ordained reverend, if you know it or not, I am. And I will help you get rid of all unclean spirits, and then the world is yours. Despite the political correctness, all the other stuff, you'll just breeze right through it. All human suffering is by unclean spirits, and all human success is by clean spirits. That's why, and this is interesting, people who've won 50 to $235 million lotteries all wind up broke. You know why? Because they were poor their whole life. Why? Because of unclean spirits, and the unclean spirits want to watch them go broke and suffer, and they enjoy it. That's why people torture each other. That's why history is full of it, because unclean spirits get into societies and get off on enjoying watching people suffer. And everything is unclean spirits if you're not healthy and succeeding and wealthy. All right. How is sorcery different than magic? Okay, magic is making the manifest happen through rituals, and everything's a ritual. Putting on any clothes is a ritual. Sorcery is conjuring up unclean spirits, the perverted, sick spirits that you see running the world today. And magic is working with the clean spirits and the world. Miracles are magic. The word magic comes from miracle. And sorcery is actually, the real word for sorcery is pharmakeia, and you can see that everywhere, which means actually making medication. We are the most medicated society in history. 38%, still holding at that number, of people are on antidepressants. Were people that miserable in the 50s? No. But there are unclean spirits feeding off of people, saying, yeah, I'm going to enjoy your suffering. I'm going to enjoy your suffering on medication. Unless I may take antidepressants and say, well, now I'm happy. No, it doesn't happen. So sorcery is bringing up evil spirits. Ouija, all of them. They're using the rock music all the time. And thank you for the question. It's actually more suited for a longer conversation, but I'll have the cigarette that I'm going to cut out. I just conjure up a fire. It's just using a method of logic to create a manifest. If this was 500, 600 years ago, people would think, oh my God. We've been fed so much bullshit by the mainstream media, stuff I cannot talk about, but join the webinars, because you would not believe the bullshit you're living with. And the biggest one is hiding the fact that unclean spirits. In the Bible, which is something I believe in, every word of it. They didn't say, well, we got to do some blood work, take your temperature, and, we got to... No. Unclean spirits are gone. You're healed. That's it. A little bit more than that, but that's the Reader's Digest version. And a lot of stories about how to heal. I would suggest getting a Bible as soon as possible before that's illegal. Because they don't want God worship, they want the government worship. Now, why do scientists not like the fact that God exists? Because they do not want to be accountable to a creator. It is that simple. Evolution. They get me some frogs when they start turning into like walking people. Yeah, people turn to frogs, and I'll tell you something that I learned in my work as intelligence. Evolution is the biggest hoax ever played on the world. The biggest hoax ever played. One guy, Darwin, came up with this idea, and all of a sudden, and he was trying to selectively breed his family with the Galtons, and you know what they wound up with? Idiots. So remember that it's the biggest hoax ever played. Hey, I didn't lose any viewers for saying that. It's absolutely a fact. And that's a fact that's dangerous to even speak about. Evolution. I can just imagine doing like one of those old-time comic book ads. Hey, get a chimpanzee and eventually turns into guys. Yeah, that would have gone over big. This is the atheist point of view. First there was nothing. Then nothing created something. Then something that nothing created everything. Yeah, that's logical. Makes a lot of sense. Hey, Alec, thank you very much for doing the show. I really enjoy it. Thank you, Alec. That makes the show worth doing. Okay, everybody, I'm going to have to say goodnight, but not without my Gregorian chant and my blessing. You gotta type this in. Okay, Greg Allman, great. Okay. Bless you all. Good luck, goodwill, prosperity, love, joy, and peace be upon all of you. God bless you, and I'll see you next week. And thanks for being here. GaryRath.com. Go there, buy stuff. Good idea. Good night.